Welcome to Three Things at Three. We're so excited to have you here with us today. It's all about holiday picture books this week, and I have some of my favorite friends on here. So let's get started with Three Things at Three, where thing number one, something to make you smile. Thing number two, something to learn. And thing number three is something to discover. Let's go. Hello, welcome to Three Things at Three. We're so excited to have you with us. I've got Liz from New Mexico on, and Heidi Todd, she is wrapping her gifts today. So don't you envy her just a little bit, Heidi. We love that you are so prepared. But I am so excited for Three Things at Three today, and I have two of my favorite people with me today, Sandra and Rebecca. And we are talking about something that's a little bit near and dear to my heart. Reading holiday picture books. And kids' holiday picture books. I love the pictures. I love the stories. And today we're taking a little bit of a different turn, aren't we?
We are. It's a little bit different book than what I think all of us would be used to anyway. Mm-hmm. It was for me. I was like, this is really a sweet little book. It's awesome.
Yes, well, a little bit about my background is I worked international sales, so I got to travel a lot and experience a lot of different cultures. And then also my last job, I was telling these guys before, I actually worked for a company in New York, so I would travel to New York for a week every single month, and then I would travel out. But one of the I'm going to call it a blessing, and one of the funnest things about it is I worked for a company called Ascena Corporation, and they celebrated both Hanukkah and Christmas. And so I was immersed in two different cultures during the month of December. And so I'm so excited today because our book today is Hanukkah Bear. But for those of you that don't know a lot about Hanukkah, I just wanted to give you just a little bit of a background, because Hanukkah is kind of a lesser celebrated holiday in the Jewish tradition. It's becoming more and more celebrated.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's not, Christmas in the Christian religion is huge. And even in the secular part, we celebrate Christmas, and it's Christ's birth. But Hanukkah is a little bit less of a holiday. They still celebrate it, but it's a cool story. So if everybody will just bear with me, lots of you know this, lots of you do celebrate Hanukkah, but if you'll just bear with me, part of the really fun thing is that Hanukkah stands for Festival of Lights. I think Hanukkah, one of the things that is most known for is the menorah, which is a candelabra that they actually light a candle. And when they celebrate Hanukkah, they play games, they eat fried foods, and they light the candles one each night. But do you guys know why they light the candles?
No,
I don't. Okay, it's actually a miracle, and it's really kind of cool.
I think I know what you're going to talk about. It's about lighting the candle. The first time they lit it, they only had enough oil for one candle.
There was actually, the Greeks had invaded the temple of the Maccabees. So the Maccabees had a temple, the Greeks had invaded it, and they had put up their idols, and they actually took it back. And so they needed to rededicate their temple. Well, to rededicate, they used an olive oil that was hand-pressed, and it took a long time. And by some sheer miracle, they found just enough olive oil that they were able to rededicate the temple, and they thought that they would be able to light that candle and keep it lit for one day. Right. Well, it took about 8 days to recreate olive oil.
I read this. So go, it's perfect.
And so the olive oil actually kept that candle lit the full 8 days until they could recreate the olive oil. And so it was a miracle.
Yes.
And so that is why there are 9 candles on the Hanukkah candelabra, on the menorah.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that that was really, really so cool to share, because
Right.
you know, we as Christians celebrate the miracle of Christ's birth. They celebrate the miracle that they were able to rededicate their temple and take it back from the Greeks. Also, did you know that Hanukkah is celebrated on the 25th of December, but they celebrate it on the 25th of a lunar calendar. So it kind of moves. So that's why the days move every single year,
It's
because it's
different
actually
every
the
year.
I didn't
lunar
know that.
calendar.
That is really cool.
So there's my things. I just am really excited to share that. I love learning. I love different cultures. I love all the different ways we celebrate. And so I'm really excited to share this book. So do you guys want to tell us about the book today?
Yes.
Sure. Rebecca, you start.
Okay, I'm going to start first of all with I absolutely loved love the illustrations. I mean, they're so adorably cute, and just the, I don't know, I love bears also. I call my husband a fuzzy bear when he hasn't shaved, and so this reminds me, it just touched home. It's so sweet. Baba Brina, I think is her name. She is getting ready for Hanukkah to light the first candle the first night, and she hears a knock at her door. And it is, we know as the readers, it's a bear, but she doesn't see very well, and so she feels to make sure, you know, she knows who's there, and it ends up being this bear, and she invites him in. She thinks it's the rabbi, and she celebrates the first night of Hanukkah with him. They light the candle. She doesn't see very well, so the bear also grumbles. Like, instead of talking, obviously he's kind of grumbling, and she's like, she doesn't think anything of it. And then later in the book, she says to the rabbi, when the rabbi finally comes, after the bear had left, he eats all of her food, and they play the game. And as she's doing the dishes, there was another knock at the door. Anyways, and she said, "There's somebody running around just like you, Rabbi, and he has a beard just like you, and he
Sounds
talks,
just like you."
just like you.
Yeah. She says he sounds just like her, like the rabbi does, and then and it's really sweet, because also at the end, as the bear leaves, like Rebecca said, he eats all of her cakes, he eats all of her nuts, he does all this stuff in her home, and then she actually had made a scarf for the rabbi, but because she thought he was the rabbi, she gave him the scarf, wrapped the scarf around the bear, and sent him on his way home. And so then when he gets back to his little cave, he's like full for the winter, and he's got a nice warm scarf,
yes.
and he just kind of relaxes and then hibernates for the winter. But it's a cute little book that talks a little bit about the Hanukkah season, which I think is awesome, because as you were saying, Allison, that our kids don't get those different cultures in their life. And so this kind of opens that up a little bit to the children. If they don't know about Hanukkah, it might give them a little bit of questions. Okay, so what is Hanukkah all about, Mom? So I think it's a good little information for kids, and the pictures are great. The illustrator did a great job on it. It's just a cute little fun book.
And the premise of welcoming anyone into your home, regardless of who or what they are, and giving and sharing, is universal. And that's what I love too, is that, that Baba Brina, she did not care. She thought it was a rabbi, but she welcomed, and she was so accepting. And I love that premise, especially this holiday season, regardless. Regardless of what he was.
That's right, and we all need to be that way, a little bit more open, and hey, come on in and enjoy the holiday with me, have your food, whatever the case may be. So,
we are so lucky. I feel so blessed to have worked for 2 companies that were so inclusive. My last one, that really did give me an inside look at Hanukkah, and that was so inclusive. And then this company that is so inclusive. So, what a fun book. So tell us,
adorable.
Hanukkah Bear, Now, we all know where we can get this, but check your local
bookstore.
bookstore.
Yes.
It is by Eric A. Kimmel and illustrated by Mike Wohnoutka. Mike Wohnoutka. And like I said, these pictures are absolutely adorable. So if you have an
colors are
animal
great.
lover in your life, I mean, you know, they just really need this. But you also have a fun project that goes along with Hanukkah Bear, inspired by Hanukkah Bear, and I cannot wait to see. So we will be right back in just a few minutes.
The patchwork Christmas stocking. So you cut them into 4s. I line them up 5 rows of 10. I will pick up from the bottom, stack that on there. Just go ahead and show them what you mean by chaining.
Okay,
I've got these all sewn together.
I'm gonna press it from the front.
Just gonna sew those. Look at that. Cut around it, flip this. You've got your front and your back. Before you sew them together, toe and the heel. Grab your lining, reverse it. You've got to have that on before you sew your lining. So
It's down both
you
sides.
stitch your lining to the top of your stocking. So then you're going to line them up on top of each other. Come around, you're going to sew all the way around, but you're going to leave an opening. Then you're going to turn it right side out.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
So fun.
Well, we're back here to show you this fun little thing, this project that we got. Rebecca.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Kimberbear's Kimberbear that they introduced? Oh gosh, it's probably been, I know, 4 or 5 years ago. Are you familiar with that at all?
I am familiar. I've seen them made. I have never made one. So
Okay.
this is exciting for me.
Okay. Well, Kimberbear introduced this Kimberbear, like I said, about 4 or 5 years ago, along with shabby fabrics.
Okay.
And so they used a lot of the cuddle fabrics to make their Kimberbears. Now, this was initially used as a project to donate bears to hospitals and fire stations and different places like that for not necessarily underprivileged kids, but for kids in need.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yes.
like if
Okay.
their family was in a fire or they were in an accident or something and they needed something that they could just cuddle.
Oh, yes.
You know,
Don't you
a
just
comfort,
love cuddling a bear?
just a comfort
yes.
for them. And so Kimberbear came out with this. Now it is in a sewing and embroidery design. Okay, so you can do it either or.
way.
So it doesn't have to be strictly embroidery. They did do it. They do have the sewing instructions with it too.
Okay.
So I thought this would be kind of a fun little thing to do.
Absolutely.
For
Yes.
this, and so I actually made mine with flannel.
Okay.
So just to show that you do not have to do the fuzzy minky or, you know, the fabric that you use. You can also use different fabrics, and I've seen them done in like a memory.
Oh,
Like a memory fabric.
shirt or
somebody that
sweater
has
or-
passed and
okay.
you've got a shirt from your grandfather maybe,
Yes.
and that's something that maybe you just need something to just to remember them by.
Right,
Okay.
okay.
So you could definitely do it that way. You could also do it in a t-shirt fabric.
Okay.
And all kinds of different things that you could do for that. So just something that you prefer, that you like. So anyway, I did mine in flannel. There's a couple of tips and tricks that I can give you as far as turning them and stuffing them, because I did learn a lot when I made this one. So first of all, as you can see on this one here, I used leather for his nose.
I love the leather.
So I thought that was
so
really cute. They do have a little heart on here. This one I used just a little piece of red velveteen.
Okay.
You could use any kind of fabric. You could use just almost anything that you had. It does not take a lot of fabric to do it. If you use a 60 wide fabric, it'll take 1/4 of a yard. If you use regular fabric that's 42 wide, then you can get it out of a 1/2 yard.
A 1/2 yard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it makes
We all
plenty.
have a 1/2 yard laying around somewhere, right?
Yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
yes.
We all do. Okay. Then this one here that I did, and this one here, his eyes are blue.
Very cute.
Okay.
Yes.
And this one here, his eyes are green. Now, a lot of you guys all know that I have a set of triplet boys in my family, grandchildren, and so I'm making 3 bears, but I'm making them all with different color of eyes.
So they can
So
tell,
they can tell who's who.
right?
So I'm making
Yes.
it a little bit
Yes.
different, but the bear itself is going to be pretty much the same. Anyway, just so that they can have something. My grandsons are awesome. They love little bears. But anyway, I also took this one, and in the book it talks about how the scarf.
Yes,
She gave
she gave a
him
gift,
a
yes.
little gift, a scarf that she put around him. So I put a scarf around my little Kimber
And it's
bear.
the same color. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Perfect.
It was great. So anyway, let's pull this one up, and then let's just kind of go here a little bit. So first of all, you make the muzzle all by itself.
Okay.
And then you stuff his nose. His
Okay.
nose is
I
stuffed.
love that.
I know. This kind of makes it pop a
thought
little
of
bit.
everything.
Then when you put the muzzle on the fabric, on the head itself, you stuff it.
Okay.
So that it stands out even more so, and then his head itself. Now, these here, you don't stuff their ears, but I did. I stuffed my little guy's ears just so that they could stand up a little bit. I wanted his ears to stand up, so I stuffed those.
Right. With the flannel, it's a little different,
It
right?
is. It is. With
Okay.
if you versus the cuddle fabric is a little different than if you're using the flannel. That's for sure. But it gives you the little places here for his arms and his legs. So they have you stitch out the different ones, and I've separated them. Now, also I found too that depending on how much you stuff your bear depends on how floppy his legs are.
Okay.
Okay. So you can see my little bear here, he's got kind of stiff legs.
Yeah.
Which is great. But this little guy's got floppy legs and floppy arms. So it just depends on how much you want to have him.
Right. If you want him super cuddly, or if you want him to stand up and, be able
Just-
to maneuver him.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
I like that.
So when you do this, obviously you do right sides together and then you turn it. I actually used a tube turner
Okay.
to turn my legs because they're a little thin
very thin,
here
yeah.
in the middle. His legs and his arms are very thin, and so you could use a tube turner. I know a lot of people have just taken like your R&K turning tool. Anything that you could use a
Bamboo
chopstick
skewer or chopstick. Yeah.
chopstick
Okay.
of any kind,
Okay.
but you
Yeah.
just kind of take it and push that in there, and then run it over the top of the whatever stick it is you're using it to turn them.
Okay.
But super simple little project to make, and I think they're absolutely incredible. And this time of year is a time of year where a lot of these kids don't have much.
Right.
And so why is it that we couldn't make a Kimberbear or two, and again give them to the Red Cross? How many
Yes.
people, I just heard on the news the other day that there are several people down in the Salt Lake Valley area that are without a home
Without a home
because
right now.
they had
Yes,
some
yes.
fires going
Okay.
on and they're
Okay.
without homes, and all these families are going, what do we do? How about I just prior to coming in today, I was also watching the news, and there's some of these families back that where Helene still hit that are still living in tents.
Oh,
And
yes,
it's
yes.
such a devastating thing that why couldn't we just make a small little Kimberbear? Takes absolutely no time at all to do this. They're very quick. They are done again on the embroidery machine, but also sewing. But you also don't have to hand stitch your arms and your legs and all of this on.
Okay.
They actually have you do it with a zigzag stitch across here.
I love that.
And
Oh my gosh, I love that.
What a game changer.
Yes.
Yeah, that is for sure, because it doesn't show either.
Right. I am
So
not one that to hand stitch.
Yeah.
I'm just let's
So
get it done quick.
all of you
So-
out there that are saying, I don't hand stitch, I can relate with that, because I'm not the craziest one to do some hand stitching either, but I know that there's many of you out there that are like, I don't do hand stitching. So you just take it and zigzag it on there, and he looks just as adorable, whether he's hand stitch or whether he's zigzag, does not matter. William, I like the idea of putting something crinkly in it.
Oh, Oh, yes.
So that
Okay.
any of these kids that are sensitive to sounds and the touching
yes,
things
texture, yeah.
and different things, to put crinkle in it, I think that would be a great thing
Or a bell.
to do.
We
Yeah.
could put a bell in him. Okay.
Oh,
I love
a
it.
bell would be perfect around him.
Okay.
That would be awesome. So anyway, they're just a cute, fun little, quick little project that you could do if you maybe needed a little extra Christmas gift for somebody. That would be a great little fun thing to do. So make yourself a Kimberbear. Again, you can find this download on kimberbear.com, and it is a free download for the instructions and the embroidery designs both. So
I love
there
it.
you go.
Sandra, thank you. I'm excited to show my daughter. She's actually been making some small little gifts for her friends to mail, and I think she would love to use the embroidery machine to do this. So
And
thank you.
to give them away,
Yes.
what a treasure that would be for anybody. So
Right. Or pick up a book and put the bear with the book. So
that would be perfect.
thank you so much. This is a great. I'm super excited to go home and make some of these.
Yeah.
So
They're
okay,
fun.
we will be right back.
What we're going to do today is show you these adorable ornaments that you can make. Take a look at how this is done. All you're going to do is take a needle, and I have 3 strands of embroidery floss. Pull it from the back to the front, like with a back stitch. Up in one hole, back down into the previous hole that I had before. I want to take you through how you do the leaves here. I went all the way down the center. Hold on to this thread with my thumb, back down into the same hole. I'm not going to pull it all the way through. Go in that loop, pull it up, right back down into the same hole. And that's as easy as that one is.
Welcome back, welcome back. That was so cute. In fact, I just said during the break, I'm like, okay, I have 11 grandkids, but I have 9 that would be bearish age. And I'm like, Allison, stop. You're not going to go home and make 9 bears tonight. Stop, I'm done. So yes, would everyone please remind me, I do not need, as I'm like, how long is that stitch out? No, but next year.
Right? Next year is perfect.
Next year's great.
You can get started in January.
It takes 3 hoopings, just so you know that.
Okay.
Oh,
I
so
put it-
3 times 9 is way too many, plus turning them all out and sewing them
That's
together.
too many.
Okay, I am not. All right. Okay, so I'm so excited because, like I said, Hanukkah is about lights, games, and fried food. 3 of my favorite things.
Well, and togetherness too, right?
Yep.
But
So-
yes, fried food.
so
Let's go.
What do you have for us? What are we going to discover today, Sandra?
Okay, so in the book, it talks about how Brahma, she took the bear and she played a game with him. She played a game called Dreidels. Okay, I'd never heard of it, so I did some investigating on it, and I purchased the game, which is really very inexpensive, but I think it would be really fun. Okay, for any age too. Okay, so you get these little game pieces,
Yeah.
I guess. I guess
Those are dreidels.
Okay, they're called dreidels, and they have these little symbols on all 4 sides of these dreidels. So here, everybody take a dreidel. There's one for you, one
so
for you.
they have symbols and names.
Okay, now every one of these little names means something. Okay, so if it lands on the word that says hey, you take half. Now you have tokens, and we're going to go over that here. But this one means you take half of the pot. Okay.
Okay.
The other one says gimel. And that means you take all of the pot.
Oh, I like that one.
So if
and
we
then
played these with M&Ms or cold hard cash,
well, guess what?
I'm thinking dollars.
We got M&Ms. I'm sorry, we got pennies. Okay,
That's okay.
all right.
It's cash.
Yeah, exactly. And for little kids, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Right.
If it says none, guess what?
You don't get anything.
None. You
Okay.
get none.
None,
Okay.
zilch, zippo.
Yeah, and if it says shen, that means you take 1. of the
Okay.
pot. Or you add one to the
Oh, you
pot.
add one to the pot.
Add one to the pot. So
Okay.
everybody will get an equal amount of tokens.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
again, whether it's money or M&Ms, or I actually went and collected some chestnuts.
Oh, cute.
And so that's what they used in the game. Were nuts in the book. Were nuts, and so I went and collected some chestnuts, and so I have some chestnuts too. So just different things that you could use. You could use Skittles. You could use, I don't know, anything.
I read a really good book, and I'm not really, I mean, you know, we all have different kinds of books, but it was called The Things We Cannot Say. And it was a World War II book, but it was also present day. And I tell you, on the second chapter, was crying my eyes out because it talks about this mom who had an autistic son, and a lady in the grocery store brought him a dreidel and taught him how to play it, and it completely calmed him down.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so if you really want a great book, it's called The Things We Cannot Say. I don't remember the author just right off the top of my head, but you just
here,
you just spin
here's
it. You just
Okay.
you just spin,
So that's
right?
yep.
You
There's
just spin.
There's several. You just spin them like that,
Like a top.
like a top. Oh, look at this, guys!
I got none.
And then wherever it drops, like this one says Shin, so now I have to add one of my tokens to
Mine
the pot.
said Shin, so I had to add,
Then
and yours
none
says
again.
none, so you're done. So
So it's just kind of a game that you
Liz
can
says
play.
that's why they use gold foil coin chocolates, you know, instead
Ooh,
of
that's a
dollars.
great idea. I love that.
Yes.
The thing you gotta
fun.
try to get your kids not to eat your treats, whatever
Right,
it is
right,
that you're
right.
doing. So
You know
How
what?
fun.
I could play this for days.
I-
I could
yeah.
just sit
Yeah.
here and spin this all day.
when it first came, I stood there for probably a good half hour just spinning tops.
And so
it was fun.
fun.
It's just a fun little thing
Yes,
that
I've heard of a
every-
dreidel before, but never knew how to play. So
Well,
that is so
there you go.
fantastic.
Thank you. And that book, that's the next book on my reading list. I'm putting it on there
Yes,
right now.
yes.
Okay,
I
all
like
the
I
things
said,
cannot
I
say.
cried like a baby by chapter 2. So, but you know, I'm pretty sensitive, but it was very touching book.
I'm excited to read that. Okay,
right.
the next thing we have is potato cakes or latkes, fried food, right? Fried
Right.
potato. There's a recipe in the book, which I'm excited about, and I followed that recipe today. And I just brought these so we could try them. It says they would be good with sour cream. It says they would be good with, in the video they said, oh, we want to move them over here. Thank you. It says they would be good with jam. In the book, they eat them with jam. It also said in the recipe that it would be good with applesauce. So I had some applesauce that I brought, and we're gonna try. I hope we're gonna try it. I'm excited to try
I
it.
can't wait to try it.
So, anyways, they
I'm-
were super fun to make. I even brought tongs, girls, so that we. I'm gonna
kept
let
our
you
turns to
serve yourself. I know. Anyways, I'm gonna.
All right,
I
I'm
just
all
made
in.
these small. In the book, they're a little bit bigger. I tried to make them a little smaller.
Okay.
but anyways,
All right.
All right, while you guys
we-
are dishing up, I'm just going to talk about a couple of announcements.
Okay.
Remember, we have a few spots in March for galas, so the rest are sold out. If you were looking for another spot, you can get on the wait list, but galas, the rest are sold out, so get signed up while you can. Those will be sold out, I'm sure, fairly soon. And then also, Sandra, can you
Okay.
remind us what's coming up?
Okay, I have a little treat to show everybody. In January, Kimberbear is coming out with a new event that they call Stitch and Rewind. And we still have some available spots open for January. We also have some in February and March. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight as far
look
as
how cute.
how this comes. Okay?
that's adorable.
So it will come in this little jelly bag here. It is lavender. Now, the one thing I found out too is that these bags also come in another colors, aqua. They're blue, the blue aqua that is Kimberbear's color. And we will be selling those.
Oh, because those
that's
are
so
so
exciting.
Cool. Did you
I
guys
know.
wear jelly shoes?
Yeah,
of course we did.
We all did.
My mom would not ever let me because they said they made my feet stink. So
Yeah.
I'm all for Stitch and Rewind. I'm getting my own jelly shoes, Mom.
Of course you do. It's a bag. Yes, so cute.
So you get, everything comes in this little bag, and you make a little zipper pouch that looks like a cassette tape.
Yes.
And you make a little strawberry gift pocket thing, and then you also make some patches, which is new to Kimberbear. So we're going to be making a couple of little patches, and then the bonus designs for this event are also really cute. So I just wanted to put a little push in there for
January,
this.
March.
January 17th is the first time that we'll be able to do this, and then we're doing it again in February on the 7th and March 7th also.
Yep.
So yeah, if you'd like to purchase this for a Christmas gift for you and your friends, what a great time you could have. It will be done virtually, but we also have 2 days for in-store. If you're local, we would love to have you join us in-store
And
also.
order them now so that you get them in time for that January event. And
Yes.
I don't know about you guys, and I'm just going to date myself. You guys know nothing is a secret with me. I'll tell you everything. But I grew up in the 70s and 80s. And so my memories of the 70s and 80s are not only fond, but all about girlfriends. I mean, you know, because that's when I hang out with my girlfriends.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
get a couple of
Yes.
girlfriends and take this and laugh your way through it. Put your hair in a side pony with your neon scrunchies and your jelly shoes and
There you
take
go.
this event and make some
might need-
potato cakes,
we
because these are
might-
delicious.
Thank you. We might need a girlfriend employee event so we could all do that
I think
together.
that would be
so
perfect.
much fun, right? I would love that.
Yep. And again, the dates are January 17th is the first one, and then again February and March 7th. Well, because you know there's 28 days in February, so your March date's the same. So anyway.
All right. Well, I propose
We'd
that
love
we
to
have
see ya.
food and books on every 3 at 3. And with that, we're going to let you guys go.
I'm
Order
eating
that
my
book,
cake.
Hanukkah Bear. Make your potato cakes. Order your dreidel. And we'll see you tomorrow.